All right, hello everyone. So today we're going to go through the chest exercise tier list. The point of this tier list is to look at exercises that have long-term strength potential and muscle growth potential. I think I have a pretty good chest. It's probably one of my better body parts. I also have a pretty strong chest. My best bench is 350, although I recently hit 315 for 5 paused. And I've done a 185 weighted dip, so I have a pretty strong chest. Also, I apologize if I mispronounce things or if I say something that's all messed up. I kind of have a speech impediment a little, so make fun of me in the comments if you feel like it. So first off, we're going to go through the chest god here, Arnold, which is watermelon tier. Of course, watermelon, big pecs. Literally, Arnold's pecs look like watermelons. I mean, look at this guy. Honestly, if any of the old bodybuilders, just bodybuilding in general, I think he has the best chest of all time. And we're going to go through the tier list here. Start with the exercise. First one, best one, bench press. The bench press is an S tier exercise. If anyone tells you differently, honestly, they're just incorrect. You look at the really big benchers like Julius Maddox, Mark Bell, just guys historically that have had Larry Wheels, guys historically that have big bench presses, have big chests. It is a good chest exercise all around. Now, if you don't connect with the bench press or you just really hate it, there's other exercises you can do, but that doesn't stop it from being an S tier exercise. You can progressively overload. You can do pauses. You can do spot presses. The bench press, S tier, without a doubt. Next, we have the hammer strength kind of non-conversion press. So you just kind of goes like this. There's no converge, okay? Just straight out. I'm giving this B tier. So basically, the reason I'm giving this B tier is if you want a good machine, it's going to have some conversion because you're going to basically have a squeeze on the pecs. Basically, a lower quality machine, it'll just do this. It's not going to have a converge, which is going to make it B tier. Next, we have the decline dumbbell press. So this is going to be C tier. Unless you have those spotter arm things, we can put the dumbbells in the spotter arms. If it's a short decline, a real small one, I'd probably put this in A tier. Problem is, this is where I see most people do it. They'll do it on those decline benches that are made for setups too. It's just not a good exercise, guys. Actually kind of dangerous. Just getting the dumbbells into position, especially when you're leaning back way far. Most people can't set up correctly, and if you're relatively strong, it's just going to be a recipe for disaster. So honestly, C tier, not very good. The incline barbell press is S tier. It has all the benefits of, a regular bench press, except it's inclined, so work the upper chest more. Also, you can go heavy on incline barbell press. I know everyone's scarred from that one video with Larry Wheels where that guy's doing an incline barbell press and his pack like rips off. If you look into the background of that video, that guy was being honestly silly. He was being kind of dumb. There's a lot of things he could have done to avoid that. And, him ripping his pec off is unfortunate, but, lots of PED usage and a lot of not warming up properly, unfortunately, will do that to you. Next thing we have is the flat dumbbell press. So a little controversial here. I'm not the biggest fan of this exercise. And I know that's maybe a little heresy for a lot of the lifting community, but I'm going to put this in A tier. The reason it's not S tier is because with dumbbells, first off, if you're going really heavy on dumbbells, like really heavy, like under 6 reps, not a good idea. Getting these suckers into position and pressing, you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to try to get into position. If it's too heavy, it's going to, bounce off your chest and hit on the ground. You're going to be attached to that dumbbell. You're going to dislocate your shoulder. I see a lot of people injure themselves on dumbbell presses a lot more than you think, and that's because they're going way too damn heavy. So it's a good exercise. It's just you can't replace the barbell bench with a dumbbell bench. I know that's a little controversial, but also the range of motion. I know you can get more range of motion unless you're really strong. If you're really strong, these dumbbells are going to hit your chest. So it's a good exercise to a point. So that's why I put in A tier. You still get the stretch benefits, but you can't. It's not a one-to-one replacement of the bench press, in my opinion. Like I said, guys, this is also just all my opinion. Next, we have this plate squeeze chest activation bullshit. This is F tier. It doesn't do anything. Like, you will squeeze your chest, you'll feel your chest working. You can kind of move it around. It's not actually doing anything, though, unfortunately. So personally, it's just not worth it. Wouldn't do it. Next, we have the high to low cable crossover. This is going to be slightly controversial. I'm going to put this in C tier. C tier, actually. The reason why is because it's a little bit unstable. If you're actually strong, getting the cables into place, you won't be able to progressively overload. If you're actually strong, the cables are going to literally like lift you up a little. It's going to kind of pull you back. The high to low fly, cable fly, just standing. There's better exercises, guys, like the pack deck, or you actually have some chest support back there. I know this is a popular exercise. I know you look cool when you do it, but in reality, it's not that good. You can only go higher rep too because of the weight limitations as well. So I'm not a fan of this one. I would put it C tier. The landmine incline press. So I used to really like this exercise, but in reality, it's not the best. The problem with it is it's a really short range of motion because you're really just doing this. It's really all it is. Okay, you maybe moving, a foot, and compared to this, you're just doing this. It's just not. There's not as much range of motion. Also, the problem is setting it up. If you're going actually relatively heavy, you have to swing the bar up into place. Unless you're going to put it on a block or like put it within the rack, the setup is just kind of hard. So in reality, the landmine press is a C tier. It does pain me to say that, though, because I used to like this exercise, but in reality, there's better exercises out there. The floor chest press. This is also C tier. Reason for that, there's not really a whole lot of range of motion. And there's not a whole lot of range of motion. Just do it on a bench. If you do really enjoy it, more power to you. I see a lot of people like the dumbbell floor press because they can lift a lot of weight on it because literally the range of motion is less. But for hypertrophy and even strength, it's just not the best. So I would put it in C tier personally. Next, we have the incline dumbbell stand and fly. I used to do this in my home gym when I, couldn't get the cable exercise to do that. So I would actually put this in. I would put this in C tier because really with gravity, the only part of the motion that's going to activate the chest is the very top, and you're mainly going to be using your shoulder because gravity is pulling down. Unlike a cable, the resistance is the same throughout, so you're still working the chest throughout. This one, you're really only working at the very top. You're mainly working the front delt. So for a chest exercise, it's really not good. I would put it in C tier. I'm gonna put, I'm keep looking at this, and I am gonna put the cable high to low in B tier. I think was a little hard on it, so I'm gonna put that in B tier. But let's move on. The pec deck, S tier. It's an S tier exercise. People like Julius Maddox has really liked this exercise. A lot of pro bodybuilders have love this exercise. It's just a great exercise. You can really stretch out the chest. You can kind of set how much of a stretch you want. Get a nice squeeze at the top. You can progressively overload because it's a pin system, which also makes it really good for drop sets. S tier exercise. The pec deck is great. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Audio kind of cut out there. So next we have the weighted dip or dips in general. This is also an S tier exercise. And the reason for that is because also weighted dips, just honestly a super underrated exercise. But the great thing about them is you can really, really stretch out the chest. Don't half rep dips, guys, but you can really, really stretch out the chest and, explode up, get a good squeeze. And you can aggressively overload on them. You really can. They can replace a bench press, in my opinion. Whether or not the weighted dip or the bench press is better, you could debate that. They're both really great. So yes, weighted dips in general, S tier, really good exercise. Yeah, great. You should do them. Also, they look freaking cool. You have this chain and all those weights hanging out down you. Looks a little phallic, looks badass. Definitely do them. Okay, incline dumbbell press, S tier. The incline dumbbell press is, first off, it's a badass movement. You look cool doing it. Don't go dumb heavy on them. Get the stretch in. Do the Mike Gerstertel incline dumbbell press. Don't be a bro half repper. But as S tier, another reason is because, with upper chest movements, there's not that many of them, and most gyms don't have enough upper chest machines. So, dumbbells are great. You can do low impact. Don't go dumb heavy on them. Milk the stretch. The stretch is the biggest indication of hypertrophy, according to the research. So yeah, do these. These are great. Also, in general, guys, any exercise in S tier and A tier are great. B tier, not bad. Pick them if you like them. Next, we have the Bosu ball chest press, F tier. It's unstable. If you're strong, it's going to be terrible. It's just some BS Hollywood personal trainer exercise. Doesn't actually do anything. Don't ever do it, F tier. I have some stinkers in here too to make it fun. Next, we have the decline bench press. This is C tier. Now, let me make this clear. If it was a short, small decline like the one John Meadows used to use, I would put this in A tier. Problem is that most decline benches are way too angled low to the point where it's almost, you're almost moving the bar like a few inches, and you can do a lot more weight, which makes you feel cool, but you're not really working the chest any better. If you really enjoy the decline bench, I guess go for it. But really, anyone who's thinking about doing it, don't do it. There's no benefits from this over a flat barbell bench. And if you do have an issue with the flat barbell bench, just do a small decline. That's completely fine. Big declines are just not good. Next, we have the push-up, S tier. Push-ups are S tier. You can do them weighted. You can do them body weight. Push-ups are amazing. A lot of people just honestly sleep on them because, once they can rep out 30, they're like, what's the point of doing a push-up? But push-ups are great. They're a great exercise, guys. You can load them. I don't think they're as good as bench presses, but that's a whole different video. But you can load the push-up. And if you're a beginner, especially new to the gym, I would recommend you do push-ups over bench press. And if you're an advanced lifter, you can do weighted push-ups, and they're good. Weighted push-ups are a lot of fun. And, you can gain a lot of strength and size over them. I'd say the only problem with them doing them weighted is that long-term, it is, if you get strong enough, gain enough weight on your back, is going to be kind of hellish. So that's the only problem I'd say with them, which actually will put them in A tier for that sake because of that. But I do think, push-ups are good. I'm going to keep them in S tier. Never mind. But they are good. Weighted push-ups are great exercises. Next, we have the clap and push up, F tier. Just because you clap your chest doesn't mean it's a better exercise. Just because you're clapping, it looks cool. That's it. It still sucks. You're not activating your chest anymore. It's just like a circus trick. Unless you're trying to impress, the cute girl in the gym. Yeah. And even then, don't do it. Next, we have the diamond push-up. Really good, really good for triceps. Not that good for chest, so it's going to put you in C tier. It's just mainly a tricep exercise. You'll get a little bit of chest in there, but do a regular push-up, guys. You're not going to be working like your inner chest or something by doing a diamond push-up. That's just not reality. Next, we have this is the weighted push-up. I'm going to put this in S tier as well. Same reason. Next, we have the low to high cable fly, non-chest supported. This is going to be an A tier. The reason this is A tier and this one is B tier is because it's a upper chest movement. And to be completely frank with you guys, most people really lag on their upper chest, but their lower chest is a lot more well developed. So low to high cable fly, good exercise. Keep them up. It's even better if you can have some kind of back support or a bench, but the standing version is a good exercise. Now the regular cable fly just standing is C tier, not very good. Reason for that is because if you're actually strong and you have the the cables back here, the cable is going to be pulling you back. Basically, you're going to be trying to fight against the cables, and if you're actually strong, you won't be able to do a whole lot of weight, and you're going to have to rep that sucker out. If you can do this with back support, it's a lot better. It's actually really good. But the standing variation, just not good. If you're actually strong, not a good exercise, C tier. Now, the incline cable fly, this is S tier because it has back support. You bring the bench over. Now, you should only do this if you can. If you're in a really busy gym, don't be the guy who takes up the cable station and brings a bench over. That's just moronic, and you're a total dick if you do that. But if you do, you're in an empty gym or you have a setup where it works okay, it's a great exercise. You can really get a stretch in your upper chest and your chest as a whole. There's constant tension throughout. Really good exercise. Honestly, it's a little slept on. I don't see a whole lot of people doing this one. Next, we have the high to low cable cross. It's B tier. It's the same as this exercise, except you have a little cross action. There's nothing really special about it, guys. I think buff dudes made this movement a little bit popular. There's nothing really that amazing about it, and that little bit more range of motion, it doesn't really add a whole lot. So yeah, I would just keep this in B tier. It's not terrible, but do a pec deck. It's a lot better. Now we have the hammer strength incline machine. This is S tier, mainly because it is a incline machine, so you can work more upper chest. And everyone needs more upper chest, including me. Everybody needs more upper chest. And also, it's easy to set up. You just put the plates on there. You can get a deep stretch in the machine, and it's also pretty easy on the joints. People rag on machines a lot, but they're a lot easier on the joints, and that is a really beneficial thing to have, is that it is easy on the joints. And if you're doing a lot of dumbbell presses, a lot of barbell presses, it's going to eat up your joints. Machines are a lot easier on them, so use them when you can, guys. Next, we have the old school pec deck. This is going to be a B tier exercise. There is less range of motion. You're hitting your hands right about here because there's stuff here. With a regular pec deck, you're going to squeeze here. You're going to stop here. There's not as much of a squeeze action. Also, I think it's just a little bit more awkward. It's not as natural. There's a reason these machines have gone out of favor. The more modern pec decks honestly are a lot better. And even with the gyms I do see these in, people are using pec decks. Even the strong guys, they're still using pec decks and not using those old school ones. There's a reason for that. If you see one, give it a shot. If it works for you, it works for you. But I think for the majority of people are going to prefer a pec deck over the old school pec deck machines. Next, we have the pin chest press machine. And I think, is this one convergent or non-convergent? I think this one's convergent. I would put this in A tier. So it's convergent. It's a pin. It's flat. I would put this in A tier mainly because it's flat. So you're not getting the upper chest, but it's a great exercise. You can get a lot of stretch on it. You can progress on this movement. Actually, I'm going to put this in S tier. I'm going to put in S tier, mainly because of the progression capabilities. Next, we have Rin dips. Rin dips, oh man, these are awesome. These are S tier. They are a great exercise. They're hard. Not everyone can do them. To be completely frank, a lot of people can't even do Rin dips in general, let alone weighted. But if you can start to do them, they're really great. You can get a good stretch on your packs. Same benefits as dips, except there's a little bit of instability in them, which is going to make you actually work your chest a little bit harder. Also, you can add weight on them, which is going to have a whole nother level of progressive overload. But most people are not going to need to put weight on Rin dips. They're a great exercise. And also, they look badass. When you see someone do a Rin dip, you're like, holy shit, that guy's strong. And they are. So, yeah, do them. You're going to look cool. You're going to get good chest gains. Do your Rin dips if you can. Next, we have dumbbell flies. I'm going to put these in A tier. They're not as good as a pec deck, mainly because there's no tension at the top. You can get a big stretch, but there's no tension at the top. That's going to keep them in A tier. I know some, especially old school bodybuilders, love these. And I think they're good exercise. I just think there's better ones out there. But, if you love them, and you like them or pec decks, and, go ahead and go for it. Next, we have the incline fly with the dumbbells. I would also put this in A tier for the same reason. Not a whole lot of tension at the top, but you can get a lot of stretch at the bottom. Also good exercise. Also, if you superset, you do a lot of incline flies and you superset with regular presses, great movement. Keep these in A tier. Decline flies, C tier. Same reason as all these. It's going to be hella hard to set up. And there's too much of a decline on most decline benches. So, yeah, I wouldn't do them. Next, we have Rin flies, S tier. Rin flies are super freaking good. Where did they go? Where did the Rin flies go? They disappeared on me. Oh, I think we got. Good thing I have another picture here. Oh no, they're right there. Okay, we got two of them here. Yeah, Rin flies are amazing. Oh no, this is the Rin push-up. I see the difference. Spoiler alert: Rin flies are also an S tier, but the Rin push-up, amazing. I know Bald Omni Man has been kind of, singing the praises of Rin push-ups lately, but they're great. You can progressively overload them. You can get a ridiculous stretch. They're going to challenge your chest like no other exercise. Do your Rin push-ups if you haven't before. Whenever I do them, I don't do them enough. They are just amazing. They're such good exercise. You can do Rin push-ups over bench, over dumbbells. They are fantastic. Rin flies as well. Rin flies are honestly, they're like a fly motion on steroids. The stretch you get on Rin flies are ridiculous. And even at the top, you still have tension because you have to hold yourself up and, avoid the Rins from moving around all crazy. They're such a good exercise. Give them a shot. Both Rin push-ups and Rin flies are hard. but you can progressively overload on them. And if you can do them, and work your way up to doing them if you can. They're great exercises. All right, next we have the one-arm press. Be honest with you guys, it's kind of a gimmick, the one-arm press stuff, C tier. You know, does it work? Sure. But why not do both? There's no extra benefit of doing it with one arm. You're just wasting your time. Just do it with both. That's what I would say. So C tier, just because literally it's a waste of time. Plate press, F tier, absolute garbage. If you see some TikTok influencer or some broccoli head little kid, if you're a little kid and you are a broccoli head, I love you, but it is a little bit of a goofy haircut. But I'm a kind of a boomer in that regard. So plate presses, they're F tier. They're just not that good of an exercise, and that mainly has to do with the fact that you're squeezing, the range of motion sucks, and there's just not enough load for you to actually get exercise. And the range of motion is literally this. You're literally doing this partial range. There's nothing there. Don't do that. They're a bad exercise. And anyone who says that they're like the gimmick to unlock your chest, they're liars. Don't listen to those people. Hex presses are like plate presses, but they're okay. They're a little bit better. I'd probably put them in C tier. You're gonna have short range of motion that's gonna hit your chest, but it's a little bit better because at least you have a force against dumbbells rather than a plate. So I'll put it in C tier. The hex press is kind of similar to a landmine press. Just the range of motion's not great. You are pushing something, so there's something to say with that. Floor flies. C tier. You're avoiding the most important part of a dumbbell fly on the floor when you're hitting the floor. I know Scooby 1968 loves these, but they're not a good exercise. You're hitting them on the floor. You get no stretch portion of the muscle, which is a really important portion. That is arguably the biggest portion is the stretch. So yes, you have more mechanical load, but just use a bench and it'll be a lot better. Then it'll be an A tier exercise. So yeah. Next we have the horizontal chest press machine. This is F tier. It'll be C tier. It does work the chest. It's just a gimmick. Yes, you get a little bit more of a contraction here by doing this, but in reality, guys, it's a gimmick. No one who's actually strong or big is doing this movement. It's just not good. Also, it's a waste of time because you're doing one arm, then you have to switch. It's just not the best in the world. The one arm cable press is F tier though because it's unstable. You can't really do a whole lot of weight in it. The only people you're going to see doing this are like old guys who are pretending they're shadow boxing. So they have like a cable here and they're going to punch, like they're going to punch their divorced wife's new husband or something. So don't do this. It's not a good exercise. F tier, unstable crap. Next, we have the Smith machine press, flat press. So, believe it or not, guys, this is A tier. This Smith machine bench press is not that bad. It's very stable. And if you work out in a Planet Fitness and that's all you have access to, it's not the worst in the world. Just don't say, if you load this up to 315 or 225, don't say you actually bench press 315 or 225. You don't. A Smith machine bench is completely different. Fitness, though, it is a good exercise, and you get a lot of benefits, too. You can progressively overload on them. They are safe because it's a fixed range of motion. You can easily, rack it. So it is a safe exercise. You can push yourself on it, but it's not as good as a regular bench. And, it can also replace a lot of regular chest machines as well. So Smith machines are good. The incline Smith press, same thing, A tier, as well as the decline is B tier because it's decline and it's just not as good because it is decline. If it's a small decline, like I said, it would also be an A tier. This guy seems to be doing a little bit of a small decline, so actually I'm going to keep this in A tier. It's not the drastic declines like most of them are. So yeah, I'll keep that in A tier. Next, we have the Diamond Smith Machine Press BS. This is F tier, guys. This is like a exercise I'll see some TikTok influencers you do, and I'll see some kids or some roided out jacked guy. I think he's gonna like unlock the third eye of his chest by doing, put in the the V handle and then doing the Smith machine like that. It's not a good exercise. It's a gimmick. If you see someone do it, laugh at them and make fun of them. Don't actually do that, but it is a goofy exercise. It's just not good. There's no range of motion. Putting this in the Smith machine, then unracking it. You're probably gonna hurt yourself unracking it. It's just a goofball exercise. Don't do it. Next, we have the close grip bench. For chest gains, this is B tier. It's good for triceps, not good for your chest. So yeah. Same with the close grip incline press. Good for your triceps, not the most amazing for your chest. I'm gonna keep putting these both in B tier because they are gonna activate your chest, just not to the degree that you want. They're good bench press accessories. If you're trying to bring up your bench press, I'd recommend doing both of these. But if you want strength and hypertrophy in your chest, it's not the best exercise in the world. So I'm going to keep these in B tier. All right. Next one, we have the football bar bench, S tier, 100% S tier. Really good movement. I don't see a whole lot of these in gyms unless you're in a powerlifting gym. But, you could replace the regular barbell bench press with this. A lot of people do. It's safer on their shoulders because the neutral grip. Yeah, it's a great movement. Way harder. If you do the football bar bench, my God, I have a speech impediment, and it's not going away anytime soon. So if you do have a football bar, give it a shot. It's a lot harder than the regular bench press. You're probably going to get stapled by it the first time you use it. If you bench 315, you're probably going to do like 245 on this. Like, it's that big of a difference. It's a lot harder. But it's great for your chest. You can get a lot of strength and hypertrophy off the football bar. Next, we have the incline football bar. This is going to go in A tier, mainly because I like this exercise. The only reason it's going to go in A tier is that the stability, it kind of like wants to move around. So it's not as stable. You kind of find the bar a little bit on the incline, but it is a fun variation. Definitely worthy of A tier. And next we have the Kabuki bar, Kallax bar, chest press, like camber, whatever this thing's called. Yeah, camber bar. Yeah, that's also S tier. You can get a little bit more stretch. Probably can't put as much weight on it because of the bit of a stretch, but it's really good for strength and hypertrophy. Definitely would recommend it. Next, we have the decline hammer strength press. This will be an A tier. It's a good exercise. It's not S tier simply because, you already have enough decline movements. If you're doing your barbell benches, your dips, your flies, you're going to get enough lower chest. You don't need to add more, but it's still a good movement, and it's fun. I like decline hammer strength presses, so I'm going to keep that one in A tier. Next one, we have the single arm cable fly. This is F tier. It's single arm. It's horizontal cable fly. It's the worst of both worlds. Don't do this exercise. It is F tier. It is garbage. One arm push up looks badass. It doesn't actually work your chest a whole lot. Also F tier. Yeah, looks cool. So if you can do it, do it in front of that cute girl. Maybe she'll give you a date. Probably not though, dude. I won't really do this unless you're trying to get IG likes. And what's this last one? Oh, I think this is a single arm low to high cable fly. This is B tier. If you only have a single cable, do that. It's not the worst exercise, not the best exercise. I would say it's B tier. You can get a little bit more range of motion. I have done it before, and it's not bad, but yeah, I would say just do the regular version if you can. But yeah, that's my tier list, guys. Let me know in the comments what you agree with. Like the video. Let me know what I could do in the future to change out these tier lists. Any feedback's great. And make fun of me for my speech impediment too, if you'd like, in the comments below. But anyways, thanks for the video, guys, and I'm out.